Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny and today I'm going to talk you through this particular layout where I have just used a whole pile of different Christmas things and smooshed them together to make a Christmas layout all about the wall hangings that various people in my family have made, especially for Christmas. That's what these photos are going to be. So I've called it Christmas Traditions, and I got this title from last year, so Christmas 2025, Traditional Christmas I think it was called, and I stuck this sticker onto some, I think it was Basic Beige probably. It's the same colour that I've used here for my journaling, and the same colour that I'm going to use, when I can find them, for my photos, for the backing of my photos, if I do a photo mat that's not attached to them. I'm not sure whether I'm going to use the light side, the dark side, or a mix. I used the light side here, that's the dark side next to it. So there's that. So I borrowed this idea actually from Angie, who's also on the Inspiration Collaboration Design team with me. I saw her do a layout with a banner all the way across, and I thought that's such a great idea, especially with the little pieces underneath. And so I nicked it. I mean, I cased it, that's the word. I borrowed it. And I've stuck the bottoms of these banners up because I just thought that it looked more, I don't know, it looked better with them being ever so slightly 3D. And when I have my photos on, I shall also pop these up. Not that far, obviously, just the same amount. Just to give it a little bit of interest, really. So, what I did here was just use up, this is basically my last bit of my first pack of this year's Christmas DSP. The one that was released at the start of July. A stitched season, and these three are the backs of pieces. So I had 12 inches by, it's just slightly under 4 inches of these, of both of the patterns, but I decided that having green, blue, blue, green didn't really work so well, and having the blue on top of the brown, can you see that it doesn't work so well for contrast over the brown as the green does. I think you should be able to see that, but I can't see it because that is exactly where the thing that's holding my camera up is, just over there. These little pieces that I used to adorn across the bottom, I used basically for everything else. I went stash diving. So this is some old olive, I think, light side of, yeah, it'll be light side of old olive on that side, and dark side over here, because on this patch there was a bit of light side of old olive on the edge, and on this patch there was a bit of dark side of old olive on the edge, so it makes the contrast slightly better. And I cut those out from behind where this pillar is. And then the stockings are from, again, a stitched season. And I cut them in the all-season velvet from last year. There is a new velvet out, which is, again, white. It's a different green. I think it's in Peaceful Pine rather than Garden Green. And then it's a pink kind of colour, so it would go very well with these flowers, and actually this background as well, rather than the red. But I wanted the red just to add more red into the picture. And then this is Golden Glow. Can I flip it slightly so you can see that I used the dark side because it had a better contrast with the wall. So I built the whole thing on crumb cake, and I went with, did I go for crumb cake? No, I went for Basic Beige. Get the right one. Oh dear. Did I? doubting myself now. Yeah, I went for Basic Beige. I went for the dark side of Basic Beige. Goodness me. Went for the dark side of Basic Beige, and because these pieces have white in, this piece from a stitched season, and this, I wonder if anybody's recognised it. It's from Violet Dreams. It's the back of one of the flowery pieces. Have I stuck it down well enough that you can't see now? I don't think I've got a corner I can pull up. No, I stuck it down really well, sorry. With my stash dive, I also picked up this red that was on a memory keeping card from years ago. One where they looked at where it was basically looking at the whole of your year and documenting the whole of your year. Which is quite a while ago. Now, you might remember last year's paper having all these lovely pieces that you could cut out. I've still got some. So I could choose. And having used the little red ones on the stockings, I then put some with the journaling. And I was thinking that I was going to use the 3 red ones here. But when I looked at it, it's got a blue bow. And yes, half the blue bow would be covered up by the traditions, but and I probably could have stuck a bit of green bow from one of the other ones on there, but I didn't really want to do that. I didn't want to cut them apart, because then I can use this as a whole one somewhere else. So I had a little look at the one with the green bow, which has these 2 pink ones in, 2 pink flowers, and actually it looks quite good, because we've got these little pinky stripes in the back. Yes, they are fresh freesia, but it is quite a pinky purple, and so that all worked quite nicely together. And if you're wondering what I'm going to do up here to make my line, make the bit of string that they're hanging off, well, I need to wait for my child to come home, because I want to borrow their gold pen, and they have taken it with them. So when they get home, I will borrow their gold pen, because I discovered last year that it is all shiny and metallic, just like these shiny metallic bits of gold that are on the flowers, and then that will tie the top and the bottom together. So I bet you're wondering how I built my wall. Or perhaps you hadn't noticed it because it's just in the background. I don't know. But if you were wondering how I built my wall, I used this. It's the Woodgrain Wonders paper. So it comes in 4 different combinations, and you have Basic Beige with crumb cake with pecan pie with Early Espresso, and Early Espresso with Basic Beige. So I cut some strips that were wide enough to be the upright beam, and in my uncle's house, he has a wooden timbered house, so I just thought of how the wood was structured in his house, and then made the beams at the top and the one across the middle of the wall to the right sort of widths to fit with what he has in his house. And then on the bottom half of the wall, because it's all about wall hangings, I thought that was a good place to put the wall hanging. And then I thought I'd do the actual pictures of the wall hangings as hangings. So I don't know whether I'm going to be able to show you this, because I have kind of stuck it down at the top. Yeah, you can just about see, maybe, that the side beams come in, and I cut them at an angle. Now I could have just tucked them underneath, because I've actually got the 2 pennants over the top. And yeah, if I'd known exactly what I was going to do with my photos at the time, I probably would have. but I cut them so that they were in line with the upright. And then afterwards I just stuck them so they stuck over the edge, and then very carefully trimmed them up the side. And I always turn it over to do my trimming, because then I get it much, much better looking from the front. So I don't know whether you can see here or not, but I actually haven't trimmed it exactly on this corner. That's why I'm showing you this corner. But from the front, it doesn't notice. From the front, you can't tell. And that's ideal, because we don't want... The thing with scrapbooking, or any craft really, is that you want people to focus on the thing that you want them to focus on. You don't want their eye to be drawn to a mistake or something. But, so, this is one wooden beamed cottage with wall hangings, showing my Christmas traditions. And I'll put a little bit of journaling about the 4 different wall hangings that I'm going to put up there, and who made them, and where they hang up at the moment in our family. So, thank you for joining me for one of my many Christmas in July, except now it's August. And it might even be September when I release this. Anyway, if you want to see more about using extra papers to stretch your DSP, I know that the first video that we're putting out in the ICDT, Inspiration Collaboration Design team, in September, is all about using mix-in packs to stretch your DSP packs. So if you want to do that, if you want to find out more about stretching your DSP to make it cover even more layouts, then that would be a great video to go and find and watch. I'll see if I can put a link to my one of it down in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me, and until the next time, happy crafting. Bye!